Welcome to the SYLBOURNE Show, and I'm your host, SYLBOURNE Sidiel. And guess what? Joining us today, we have a self-empowerment specialist. Actually, I call him Mr. Empowerment Specialist in person. He's a motivational speaker, and he's the author of the book, Empower Yourself to Succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Malik Muhammad. Malik.
SYLBOURNE.
Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Listen.
Congrats on the show. I'm loving it.
You're loving it?
Absolutely loving it. You and the team are doing a fantastic job, and it's an honor to be here with you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we've got to spread the love, as they say, you know.
Thanks.
And
Thanks.
I introduce you as Mr. Self-Empowerment Specialist in person.
Yes.
What is that, Malik? I know, but tell the audience.
For the viewers?
What is that? Yeah.
Well, essentially, what I do is I inspire, motivate, and help people
Yes.
to achieve their goals in a specified time.
Yes.
And this is done because of my expertise in the 8 principles of self-empowerment.
Right.
That essentially is the USP. That's the unique selling point. And the 8 principles of self-empowerment are found in my book. And this is what I do when I run the workshops,
Yes.
when I do international talks, whether I'm in prisons, dealing in pupil referral units, dealing in primary schools. It's basically all about the 8 principles of self-empowerment.
8 principles of self-empowerment. And if you give us 4.
Sure. Appreciation, which is
Okay.
about giving thanks for what you have.
Yes.
Forgiveness of self. Many of us tend to have done things in our past that rattle us
Yes.
and
Yes.
bother us and hinder us from making progress. Forgiveness of self is another one.
Yes.
Self-discipline. You want to achieve something, you have to focus your mind and work effectively to achieve that.
Yes.
Self-discipline. And finally, vision.
Vision.
You know, when we have no vision, the people perish.
Right, right.
And as individuals, if we don't have an idea of what we want to achieve,
Yes.
then we're very unlikely to get anywhere in life.
So what motivated you, or what sort of catapulted you to want to do this particular book with the 8 principles? Is there an experience that led to this?
Basically, growing up in Jamaica, I always had persons around me who did a lot with very little.
Yes.
And so over the years, when you begin to appreciate and feel proud of the gift that you have been blessed with,
Yes.
and when you come to the point whereby you have the courage to be able to step out in faith on that gift,
Yes.
this was the basic inspiration behind the book. And so for just under 2 years, SYLBOURNE, I researched the patterns of great people,
Yes.
of people who were movers and shakers in their world.
Right, right.
And what I realized by putting it on a graph, I saw a certain pattern develop.
Yeah.
People had certain ways of thinking and doing things.
Yes.
I then coined these 8 ideas or concepts
Yes.
and came up with the 8 principles of self-empowerment.
It's interesting that you said thinking. And sometimes I try to think, should I name one of the shows with a title, like a thinking program or something
Yes,
like that?
yes,
I
yes.
guess at some point ago, and it talks about against all odds and overcoming. I said, should I name the show Overcoming? Because sometimes you have a guest, which is known, but
Yes.
sometimes you have a title which also very captivating.
Indeed.
And I like the bit about thinking. And we're going to come back later because you're going to be telling us about an event with Engage with Someone. So we're going to come
Most
back to that
certainly.
later.
Most certainly.
Now, the empowerment workshops, which I consider very important, and one of the reasons why I wanted it on the program is we're in the middle of election furor.
Yes, we
Euphoria.
are, most certainly.
And because of that euphoria, a lot of youths,
Yes.
people are trying to reach the youths, and it's like they're completely off mark. And the youths are saying, these guys are not relating to me, and the top guys are trying to reach the youths, and so therefore it's like the youths are left in this zone.
Yes.
Tell me now regarding the youths and your sort of work with the youths at the same time.
What I find is that in the same way when we were in our 20s or in our teens, our parents and their generation didn't necessarily understand certain aspects of technology or the way we were living.
Yes.
And generationally, intergenerationally, the younger generation have always been seen as rebellious,
Yes.
as going against the culture, coming up with new ideas.
Yeah.
And what I find now in 2015, SYLBOURNE, is
Yeah.
that there is an underestimation of the intelligence of the 16 to 25-year-olds
Yes.
in this country, in UK, for example. And no doubt this replicates throughout the world. And because we underestimate their intelligence, we therefore believe that the way we were at that age
Yeah.
ought to be the way they are at this age.
Yes.
And we treat them with a certain level of being patronizing towards them,
Yes.
underestimating their vision
Yes.
and their intelligence.
Right.
What I strive to do is to meet them where they are,
At that point.
right there, and then present another way as to how they can achieve greater things.
Thinking through the process.
Absolutely.
You know, it's very
You know?
interesting you said that about engaging where we're at.
Yes.
The President of America, Barack Obama,
Yes.
was in Jamaica.
Indeed. Indeed.
And there was a massive meeting at University of the West Indies where he had a lot of conversation, a lot of youths there.
Yes.
And it was such an engaging atmosphere that I, through an organization which I have, I've got persons approach me to say, I need to do something because I felt inspired and challenged. The person even said they don't like Barack Obama,
Yes.
personally with his policies, but and it's a youth, they felt inspired because they said the leaders around us
Yes.
there, they don't feel inspired and challenged by that. So people are awakened to the fact that why are the leaders not inspiring the
Yes.
youths? And there was a program here recently where you had, I think it was BBC program, whereby you had some members of parliament engaging with about 100 youths.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was a situation whereby, yet again, that interaction was happening and the politicians were somewhat off mark
Yes.
in engaging with the youth.
Yes.
How do we bridge that gap?
I think it really comes back to...
I mean, I'm a youth, and how do you...
Oh, no, absolutely. Listen, of course, we're just a little bit past 21. Right? Yeah, what I do is, as I mentioned, I meet them where they are. And as human beings, we tend to have certain core values that we all share, irrespective of culture, class, racial background, geographical location, political affiliation. And when we're able to connect on certain core values within each other, and as adults to youth, by starting there, what I find is that having that honest conversation and putting ourselves in many ways in the shoes of the youth as best we can. Once we start from that honest perspective, we're then able to build on a very firm foundation. Because as we both know, if you're building a house, you have to put the steel deep into the ground first, then start building your foundation. If the foundation is weak, irrespective of how beautiful the house is at the end, it will be more vulnerable and more likely to demolish very easily. And so on the political landscape just now, and you, like I, we're students of politics, we enjoy politics. And as trying as politicians are, and as dishonest as they are, it's still part of the democratic process. And this is why it's important for the youth to get involved in the voting system.
And that is how they can shape the country, the future.
Absolutely, because whether or not they are into politics, politics impacts them. So why not have a say in your own future by voting?
Right. Now, the book, go back to the empowerment of the book. And I mean, we put it up so people can actually
Thank you.
Buy the book. And if persons want to buy the book, they can always go to www.SYLBOURNE.com. You'll see details of Malik Muhammad there.
Thank you.
And you can actually purchase the book at different aspects. Do you think that the youths of today understand their purpose and their role for the future? Because at the end of the day, they might seem now and going about, but do they understand that they will be the leaders of tomorrow?
I think that youth is often wasted on the young, in the sense that when you are at a certain stage in your development chronologically, you see 30, 40 years down the line as being a very long time away. You know, when I was in high school and they mentioned that we'd be graduating at 15 and I was 10, I asked my colleague whether people live that long. I couldn't fathom 15, 18, 20, working, etc. And so I think that this is a human experience. And so for youth now, as in 16 to 25-year-olds, the reality of the importance of their contribution and the decisions that they make now, the impact isn't fully on them just yet. And this is why wisdom coming from those of us who are chronologically more mature is an advantage. There needs to be some level of guidance. And certainly when it comes back to voting, as you asked earlier on, when it comes back to voting, it is important because of the sacrifices of those who came before us, wherever we are in the globe. and the struggle for voting rights. Secondly, if you live in a country and the taxes and the laws impact you directly as a citizen, you must have a say in the policies. And this is done effectively through voting.
Yes, yes. That's very interesting. And so therefore, they need to understand that they actually play a fundamental role in the future.
Yes, and Obama's campaign, the first campaign, showed that.
And with this sort of election which is happening, that is something which is very important, you know, coming on May the 15th.
Yes.
Now, tell us about your event now. I mean, there's this thinking moment, this conversation, this thinking process, because I'm very intrigued by it. You know, explain a bit about it.
Thank you, and it ties in very much with what we're discussing just now in terms of when you vote, you vote based on how you think and how you perceive the parties. When you want to be empowered, when you want to make more progress in your life, it also starts with the way the neurons in your brain become activated. And so on the 2nd of May, in the United Kingdom, at the Lost Theatre, the Lost Theatre, it's called the London Oratory School Theatre, acronym LOST. And it's losttheatre.co.uk. We'll put the flyer up so people can see it as well. Thank you so much. I'll be interviewing Anthony Anaxaguru. Now, this young man is first and foremost a thinker. He's also a playwright, a poet. He's written over 10 volumes of poetry. He's also the founder of Outspoken, which is a night here in the United Kingdom once a month where artists and creative persons take to the stage and express themselves. But what I found most intriguing about him and why I'm so excited about the 2nd of May is that I'll be having a conversation with him to understand his perspective in 2015 on issues, historical and those that impact the future. We'll be looking at alternative ways of seeing the same thing, going beyond the media hype, going into areas where people may have thought certain things, but not have the courage to express alternative views.
Do you think that society sometimes is living in a fake world, whereby things are happening around them, but because of being politically correct, people are not speaking up, people are not saying things, people are holding back, and there's this level of frustration?
Yes, I do, and I think that there's also a dumbing down via the media, whereby the more you act the fool, the more you encourage stupidity. There's a direct correlation between acting the fool and being monetarily rewarded for doing so. And so thinkers, persons who have integrity, persons who strive to change things will always receive negative press and a very hard time.
So therefore, Anthony is that sort of, let's say, it's a paradigm shift. It's like...
Most certainly.
I call it disrupting.
Yes, it is.
Because sometimes you've got to disrupt things, the normal frame of things.
Right.
In a nice way, of course, but disrupting the process.
And whether it's political, whether it's personal, whether it's spiritual, it's very important to be able to have the courage to challenge things, to step out on the proverbial water on faith. Right? To be able to see things from another perspective, therefore creating the paradigm shift you alluded to earlier on.
That's powerful, because I always talk about sometimes whereby issues which are obvious that people want to talk about, but they can't talk about it because if they talk about it, they'll be censored, scrutinized, or whatever like that. And I think that there needs to be a level of being real, because what is going to happen, and what I fear is going to happen is that even like the youths are going to be growing, it's like growing up deformed.
Yes, that's an apt term. That's an apt term.
In a figurative way, deformed in a warped way of thinking, whereby you look at some movies, what we have watched, I can't remember one of them whereby the mind is controlled and you have to operate a certain way. Is that where we're going to?
I think that freedom...
warped thinking, I must say.
no, most certainly. There is validity in that reasoning. Because the whole misperception of freedom and being able to speak your mind, ironically, it's controlled. Because you are therefore programmed how to think and socialize a particular way. And so many of us, most of us throughout the globe, the cultural environment in which we live, the way we have been socialized and programmed to think and be and act, impacts us on a personal level because we sadly are afraid to be our true selves. We're afraid to do so.
So we're not being real.
We're not. We think about what mother says, father says, society says, culture says, etc. And by doing that, we therefore, metaphorically, kill a part of us every single day.
And is that the reason why when people are on their deathbed or they reach a certain point in their life, they say, I need to do what I really want to do.
Absolutely.
I need to be free now. Oh, I wish I had done this. And I live with all these regrets and people dying in the grave with so many visions and so many purpose which died.
Yes, right. And that's why self-empowerment is a daily exercise.
Wow.
We must always strive to be better, irrespective of where we are.
Yes.
So for instance, if you're someone who is illiterate, the fact that after a month you can read 4 letters of the alphabet, that's success.
Yes.
You may have one home right now with 2 bedrooms, and after 5 years you saved, you worked, you invested, and you're able to have a bigger home. You may want peace of mind. You may want your child to go through university. You may simply want to spend more time with your family.
That's success.
Or change your diet. That's success, because success is very personal. It's a personal goal that has been achieved.
You know, one of the things I said when I was thinking about this show, I always said that I don't want it to be a sort of celebrity factor, but I want to find persons who are successful. And then people who are successful at the top of the game, I say, no, successful within their own rights.
Absolutely.
So therefore, that person might just be doing one thing, but it's a success. It's inspirational to that person.
Absolutely.
And once it's inspirational to that person, that can inspire someone as much as possible. Now, back to the show. So the 2nd of May, you have this event. Is there anything more you want to talk about this, the show on the 2nd of May?
It will be a life-changing experience. And persons of great thought, persons who are interested in alternative views must be there at the theatre, at the Lost Theatre, 2nd of May. We also have a drinks reception for our guests from 6:30, and we begin the conversation at 7:30.
Is it cost?
£25. £25. That's the investment of your time in the event.
And it's important, you know, that people pay for investing in their life.
Absolutely.
Because I always believe that quality has a price. And anytime somebody says something is free, always say, somebody's paying, man. Somebody's
of course,
paying.
there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Put it this way, somebody is investing in you. That's why you're able to do that. So therefore, we need to dig in and invest in ourselves. You know?
Absolutely.
Now, that's fantastic. Now, final words, and I always love this bit here because this is where I get excited. Like, you know, I write my different quotes, you know. I say the sky is not the start. The sky, people say the sky is the limit. I say the sky is not the start. I say things like, don't just go with the flow, or you'll be in someone else's stream. Instead, create your own rivers. You know, Bob Marley say, emancipate yourself. I think it was Marcus
from mental
Garvey.
slavery.
You know,
Bob.
You know, and you have Barack Obama say, yes, we can.
Indeed.
You know. What is Malik saying? What's your quote, or what's the quote that you live by?
Yeah, it's Stephen R. Covey.
Yes.
Okay. Interdependence is a higher value than independence.
Interdependence
is a higher value than independence.
Break it down.
And the way I understand it is this. You and I in the studio now having this show, I am better for having been here with you and the team. I leave here being a better man by our interaction, our level of togetherness. Within myself, if I strive hard to harmonize mind, body, and soul, that level of interdependence is better than me simply being logical and using my left brain all the time, rather than relying also on the soulful, spiritual, holistic side of myself. So basically, it's about balance, it's about harmony, it's about togetherness. We have to be discerning, of course, because if someone brings nothing to the table, then they become a detriment to your progress. But like-minded persons, and persons who are able to elevate us to a higher level of reasoning and consciousness, when we have that level of interdependence, it's a higher value than independence. Together we achieve more than me trying to do it on my own.
So ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear, we need to work together.
Absolutely.
No man is an island.
Common goal, common aim.
Interdependence is powerful. Well, listen, I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Visit our website, www.SYLBOURNE.com. Subscribe to our channel. Join our Twitter. Join our Facebook. And also, you can also tell us who you would like to see on the sofas with myself, talking about issues that affect you, because we want to empower you. We want to also inspire you. We want to motivate you. And as what Malik said earlier, interdependence. So you're also a part of the frame as well. By sitting here with us, on the sofa with us, and being a part of us. Thank you very much, Malik. It was a pleasure.
Bless you, love. Thank you so much.
Good feeling.
All the best to you and the team.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
exactly.
All the pleasure.